Hey everybody, welcome back to another Stoneface Reactions. I'm Griffin, that's Theta, and we're here to watch some Heavenly Delusion, where last time was the Immortal Order. Hoping to make contact with the Immortal Order, Kiriko creates a sign offering to kill man-eaters, and a doctor orders that they be brought before him. However, they are approached by a group calling themselves the Livuman, who are led by Mizuhashi. They oppose the inhuman experiments by the Immortal Order, which blur the boundary between what is human and machine. Maru and Kiriko accept the contract to kill the man-eater rumored to be kept in the Immortal Order building. They enter the basement while members of Livuban hold a demonstration outside. However, Maru suspects that they are being set up again. They find a number of small, dormant Kiriko, which Maru easily kills, but then Kiriko is hypnotized by a large one. She has visions of being overwhelmed and devoured until Maru brings her to her senses by kissing her. They are then met by a man wearing an eye patch who says he is Dr. Usami, and he asks for their help. So, yeah, a bit of a straightforward episode last time, but we do have the ongoing mystery of what is going on in the Immortal Order and how weird is Dr. Usami. But Theta, I think you have some thoughts to share with us in a segment I like to call Theta's Thoughts. So Theta, what are your thoughts?
Alright. Dr. Usami has the same voice actor as Shiro, the kid in heaven that was messing with the recordings. He's also the one that went crazy and told that girl he wanted to taste her and eat her up. She asks him, "Will you cut me or poke me with needles?" So maybe Usami is a 30-something-year-old Shiro, and the thing on the table is that girl that he's trying to save from that disease, or or she's immortal and suffering and he wants to end her suffering.
It would be absolutely hilarious if every single line they say is foreshadowing. Which honestly almost seems to be true at
Well, you
this
gotta
point.
treat it that way, because otherwise, what
Yeah.
does it mean, right? Well, these two things are kind of similar. I hope it's just not a show full of red herrings.
Just go up and shake you. What does it mean, Theta? What does it mean? How to get burned?
What's in the box?
The bees.
The mystery
So,
box.
so, more thoughts. What you got?
Going down that rabbit hole, Anzu, the dark-haired girl in heaven, and Totori, the hotel girl, also have the same voice actor. Maybe Anzu had a daughter before she died?
I I do feel like it is way too thin of a time period for that to happen, but I
It's
mean, I
been
figured they're probably
15
just using
years.
voice actors for different roles in that
It's
case.
been 15 years. They're teenagers now. They could have kids right now. In fact, the theory from last episode that I gave was one of them is already pregnant.
hmm I guess it would explain why does this random hotel girl happen to have a monster part inside of her.
And also, I believe my last theory from also last episode was that Mirko could have been the son of Tokyo, the one that I
Mhm.
considered to be, might be pregnant. So
Right.
it's just the same thing. This is the same thing with a different character.
Mhm.
So if I don't believe that one is an insane theory, I don't think the other is an insane theory.
It's good evidence for if it's true. Like it tells us like to look at these things and consider, but also we do need to see story evidence. But I understand. You watched what was it? Summertime Rendering, right?
Hmm.
They had to take out the names of the voice actors so that you wouldn't do that.
Yeah.
Here they're being less cautious, probably because they don't think anyone's looking. What's your final thought?
At the same time, other characters share voice actors that have no clear reason to be related. Like the scientist from heaven that discovers the footprint has the same voice actor as one of the motorcycle racers.
Yeah, I don't think there's gonna be a connection there unless like he escapes and then just decides to start racing
I
go-karts.
would love that because that would mean that the other two would instantly be true. Like, shit, God, I got out of there. Whew, I really do have appreciation for life now. Let me just start pushing the limits. Go kart
Oh,
racing.
Okay, I need like a Mad Max, but it's go-karts.
Like, I mean, next time we see him in heaven, he's like go-karting around the outside edges of the place,
Yeah, no,
racing the
like
kids.
they're walking down the hallways. Heaven is like completely destroyed. It's dark, it's wet, it's echoey, and then they just hear like the sound of an engine puttering as he turns the corner.
Or maybe not even that. Maybe he's like, oh, here's the evidence for the shoe print. Goes out in the hallway, gets a tiny go-kart to go down to the office.
On one hand, it sounds preposterous. On the other hand, I do feel like that would be the sort of humor for this show. Just like people just doing weird things because nothing can stop them in the apocalypse now.
Yeah, no, he gets off duty, he goes back to his room, someone in the hallway stops him. Hey, Ted, I don't remember what his name is. Hey, Ted, what are you up to? Oh, I was just spending the rest of the night with this little kit that I bought offline. Oh, really? What is it? That's a go-kart kit. I was putting a go-kart together. You know, like in some shows, that like the guy goes back to his room and he has like a motorcycle he's been building. This is just a go-kart.
Okay, so narrative theory. Here's the storyline. He does in fact order that go-kart kit. He's building it in heaven. The whatever happens in heaven happens, and everything goes to ruins. Then Kiriko will find the go-kart in heaven and use that to race the final Haruko and defeat it.
Well, I mean, pointedly, Kiriko was a go-kart driver before the accident. Remember?
Right. That's
The
why it's
they
hilarious. It
already
all
don't
comes full
need
circle.
say they already don't need the go-kart connection because they were literally already a go-kart driver. Well, her sister was before.
Right.
His
It's
sister was before he got put into her body. Sorry, figuring out how to phrase it just took me a second. Also,
uh
pointedly, the race car, or sorry, the go kart driver that shares the voice actor with the dude, we never see him out of the helmet. So that's what I'm saying. We have no evidence to say it's not him, but it just seems unlikely to be him.
mhm. Right. It is less certain. We don't have like real connections on that one.
But again, the
Uh
other two follow the theory the trail to make sense. He is the only one that doesn't.
mhm.
Well,
So I think
technically, also I should say, obviously, the voice actor for Kiriko and Kiriko have the same are the same.
that just makes sense.
Yeah, well, because Kiriko is a different person from Kiriko, although
Mhm.
technically they are the same person with a different brain. So the boy currently inhabiting Kiriko's body has the same voice actor as Kiriko, the person who raced go-karts and tried to save her brother. They have
So let's
they
see.
they have literally different listings as characters, so it's funny, but you know,
Right. So Theta, I think that's all the thoughts you had stored up, right?
I'm funny that you've been trying to interrupt all my thoughts
And it just
to
more
say,
go-karts all the way down.
yeah, to say, well, and then is that your final? You know, they're the same listing. That is that your final? You know, it's funny because
So, I think what I want to say though is looking at this episode. Last time we got a really straightforward episode. There's not really much more to say about it. But this time, I feel like they have to have their hands right now on some important evidence or like plot shaking thing. Because we're getting on in episodes. They gotta get onto the track.
no, they
There
don't.
has to be a connection here.
I said from the beginning that they don't. That they could never interact. They might never interact with the main story. That us putting it together in the background might just be the whole thing.
But you also put out the theory that Dr. Usami could have been somebody from heaven.
Well, that's this episode specifically. You said we're getting on in the episodes. I'm saying
Hmm.
the last four episodes we might never touch on these characters and their relationship to heaven, or if any relationship actually exists. The entire point might be us, the audience, putting pieces together and being left to question that doesn't get answered in the
Hmm.
show, but obviously probably gets answered in the manga.
There's a couple of ways the show can end. One is, of course, just the road trip continues onward, which okay, that's fine. But if it decides to like turn it around and like double down on mystery box. If it's just like, and then the smoke monster appears, I'm going to lose it.
No, I'm suggesting it might end like a Stephen King story, right?
Hmm.
Like, imagine The Mist, right? The Mist is a bunch of characters that are going through this journey while the mist is happening. The story and the show don't specifically answer what the mist is, where the creatures come from. I mean, they do the thing with like, there's a military experiment going on, but never really where the portal goes to, how this all happened. It's the story of the people going through the mist, right?
Hmm.
So, same thing. We might not answer where heaven is from, or where heaven is in the timeline, where the monsters come from. The story isn't about them until it. I mean, if it turns out to be, then it is, but it's not right now. The story is about these two people going through it.
Right, right. And because we're on that journey, it could just be, yeah, no, the journey continues. Maybe they just encounter what they encounter, and that's fine. But that means that I want to see once we get to the conclusion that that's what the story was about.
I
So it
don't
could
need
be
that.
that, or it could be about the mystery boxes and just be an infuriating, you'll never get the answers kind of thing.
See, I don't need either of those things to be true. I'm
Mhm.
happy. I mean, if the show suddenly ended right now, I'm still happy with what I got. I didn't. The theory
There we go.
crafting.
Rare Theta statements. I'm happy with the show.
Yeah, well, no, I'm saying is that I'm happy with the theory crafting that I have.
Hmm.
I'm probably happier with the theory crafting I have than any answer the show would actually give me. That's like that was the down half of Summertime Render. We were happier figuring shit out than we were with the answers that we got. So I'm happier if the answer is horrible and it ruins the show, then I'm happier not knowing. I'm happier with the theory crafting that I had.
Right. Well, the theory with the mystery box is that eventually you do have to figure out what's in the box.
You don't. That's what I'm saying.
Mm.
We could Stephen King this, and the result being the emotional weight that we're left with the characters that have been traveling without the answers, because the answers weren't the important bit. The relationships of the characters was.
So, I guess before we go ahead and introduce our new guest star, Stephen King, here to react with us today, uh, you got any final thoughts here before we get started?
Well, no, he's getting antsy, so maybe we get to the intro.
Okay, well, let's go ahead and get through it. So before we get started, then everybody, be sure to hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and comment down below to feed that algorithm. On top of all that, if you want more shows like this, unfiltered, uncensored, and uncut, as well as some early access stuff, you can check it out over on the Patreon. Just $5 a month, but no pressure. It's all support channel, just a little bit extra.
And of course, an intro to Phil 4.
Yeah, exactly. Well, at least we'll have Stephen King to comment on all of his thoughts during the intro, right?
No, actually, he just went to the bathroom.
Ah, dang, he'll be in there for a while. Well, hopefully he doesn't miss too much of the
Well, ever
episode.
since the truck accident, you know, he got hit by a truck, right?
Oh yeah, no, those trucks they scare the hell out of you.
No, famously, he got hit with a truck accident. Somebody hit him with a truck. I can't remember. I mean, this was like, God,
Oh,
early '90s, I think.
oh, that was ages ago then.
Yeah, yeah, no. I mean, messes
I was
with
just
you.
trying to make an override joke.
Yeah, no. I mean, I don't know when he wrote Maximum of Overdrive, not Override. What are you talking about?
Clearly, I just like never remembered the name of the show that the movie I've never seen.
Well, I mean, because he directed that movie High on Cocaine. High on cocaine? Or do you get high on cocaine? And what do you do on cocaine?
You snort it.
No, I know how you take it. I'm saying, is that the same terminology? You get high on cocaine?
Yeah, yeah, you just get high. It's a drug.
I figure all the different drugs have different, you know, descriptions of what, because you take downers and you take uppers, and uppers do different things than downers, so you don't get high on downers. So, what's the terminology there?
No, it's still you are high on a drug.
Stop talking about drugs, Griff. We have a show to watch.
Never mind, you missed all the differences in the intro. Bird.
I don't think I've ever agreed with any Luddite group.
No, you had a whole Ralph Nader phase there for a bit.
No, I didn't. I've described Ralph Nader a bunch of times. I never said I agreed with it. Okay, somebody just could have fucking caught you.
I swear somebody was holding her to begin with. They
Yeah.
also dropped her. Violence is wrong, they say, after throwing the rock.
No, they threw the rock. Yeah, it wouldn't have to have been written on somebody's shoulders if you didn't take your own leg off.
何か別の目的を果たしたみたいな。
ああ、今の石ころを口実に何か要求してくる気かもしれない。
先に投げたのは向こうなのに？
自分たちのやることは表現で、相手のやることは攻撃だと思ってる連中だからな。
すみません。ちょっとどうして？
She's suffered brain damage and has a different personality. She loves augmentation, no.
見張りの同士から確認取れました。本当に地下の怪物は死んだそうです。この木、いすべからず。
Yeah, now we were way in.
みんな聞いてくれ。代表は亡くなられた。
She's lying to the crowd here.
非人道的な実験により足を切られながらも、それでも不滅教団に囚われた被験者を救おうと立ち上がった。
I mean, we don't know if he's lying or not.
It looked like she was just resting.
They covered her eyes. That's typically something you do when someone's dead, too, so it's hard to tell.
Time to get out the WD-40.
誰かに油かシリコンスプレーをさしてもらえ。ここだ。この一箇所だけでいい。
先生、この子力加減がわからへん言うてますんや。どないかなりませんか？
慣れろ。慣れるしかない。
先生、宇佐美先生。
行くぞ。
Not the most perfect bedside manner ever, but I mean, he's right.
ここだ。地下の怪物を仕留めた方法で死なせられるか試してほしい。
At least so far, he hasn't been cruel. He's just been straightforward. Well, let's see what's up here.
Got the disease.
これが患者たちの治療の礎だってのか。
死なせたいなら機械を止めりゃいい。
It's a her, though, so I guess it's not Shizu.
止めれば彼女は地下にいたような怪物になる。
あの人が人食いになるってのか？じゃあ人食いは人間なのか？
Hey, we're opening the mystery
人
box.
間かと言われれば少し違う。怪物になる病気を発症して死んだ。元人間だ。ここの設備はその病気を発症した彼女を人として延命す
Unless
る
Shizu was a woman and we just misgendered her.
進行を遅らせるには病に侵された体の部位を切り取るしかない。それでも一度発症したらダメだ。やがてまた再発する。それをまた取り除く。体の機能がなくなれば機械で補う。
Shit, sorry, I forgot my own fucking theory. Shizu would be him, and that would be the girl from heaven that I talked about.
彼女の体がもう
So far, I'm on track still.
地下で怪物を死なせた方法が彼女を人のまま死なせることができるかもしれない。唯一の希望なんだ。
Okay, we just went straight to doing the touch very artistically.
Well, then do it.
けどこの人の意思を
そのタブレットで会話ができる。それにこちらの声も聞こえている。
He's got the technical skills of Shizu.
この人外に出せないのか。
機械から外せない。
Or what? She'll die? Oh wait, never mind. She'll turn into a monster.
Yeah, she'll turn into a monster.
Yeah.
That's the problem.
Yeah, I just realized.
ここまでの
Yeah, can we like shuffle the room over a little bit?
Okay, get an extension
俺
cord.
たちも手伝うからそれができないなら俺もやらない。
よし、そっとだ。そっと撃つ。それは彼女の近くに。
分かった。
あとこれもそばに置いてくれ。こっちは延長するか。しばらく彼女の耳が聞こえなくなるから。
So you think the person in the basement was also somebody he was trying to save in the same way?
It could have just been anybody who had the disease and died, apparently.
Right.
I think I'm right. I 100% think I'm right.
Yeah, there's definitely long-term relationship here.
階段はどこもダメだ。向こうへ回れ。
とうとうこの時が来た。
Yeah, it's basement guy. They totally knew that was the guy, right?
Yeah, no, they're just a mob. They're a mob full of idiots, like I called them last time.
He's wielding a fork.
ここから突入する。えらいこっちゃ。白装束が武装して乗り込んできやがった。
暴力卑劣じゃなかったのかね。みんな上に逃げろ。動けるやつは怪我人の補助。
Have we seen that guy before? He looked very familiar.
I think it was in a previous shot. Oh no, we got stuffed animal metaphors going.
And I'm just thinking of all the people in heaven that wanted to see the outside, wondering which one, if I'm correct about the right girl.
I was thinking for a moment they're just gonna completely forget about it.
Yeah, I mean, do it before the idiots get here.
Trying to have a peaceful last moment while riot going on.
God, if I could remember the eyelashes. Which character had that?
This is just a very nice, quiet scene.
It's about to get ruined.
Oh, absolutely. One last message on the tablet.
これ 宇佐美これ
I'm sorry, but he turned to look with it.
I know, but you know, Nick Fury does the same thing.
Yeah. Just so little time on it, but this is just very touching.
Yeah, and he gave up his own eye.
I was kind of wondering how they would get there.
連中、水橋が死んだとかで乗り込んできたんです。すぐに電源を奪還しないと、星尾さんが。
もう死んだ。
まさかあいつらに。
いや、彼女は人の寿命で死んだ。
Yeah, no way this is weighing heavily on Maru or anything. No.
先生は一緒じゃないんですか。
俺は彼女を埋葬してからガードと一緒に後を追う。先に行っててくれ。
I mean, we've never heard anyone's last names in heaven, so again, I still feel...
This does wrap things together now, though.
彼女のために作ったものだ。もう必要ない。
でも怪我人があんたに見てほしい人がたくさん。
もともと2人で住んでいたんだが、怪我人が迷い込んできて、気まぐれで義手を作ってやったらいつの間にかどんどん集まってきて。ああ、そうだ。俺が何か作っていると彼女が喜ぶんだ。だから作ったんだ。だから俺は医者じゃない。
Well, you did a hell of a job for not being a doctor.
You do what you can in the apocalypse.
これだけの発電力があればここに街を作れる。この壊れた世界に新しい文化を。今必要なのは一つの秩序と統率、国家なんだ。
Yeah, please let there be one more monster left and they're still alive. He missed one. There
Oh,
we
he
go.
did.
Cause fuck these people.
Oh, it's gonna be a slaughter. So while we do have a moment, this does all tie back to they put monster parts into people. It's like, no, the opposite. They were there the whole time.
この二人見たことないですか？こっちは医者なんですけど。
知らないな。
この額の傷は一回見たら覚えてそうだよね。
俺は三年先生といるのを見たことないな。このグードルッキングガーイは稲崎先生じゃないの？
ああ、そうだ。こっちは稲崎先生だ。
白装束とゴタゴタしだすよりもっと前だから2年くらい前かな。
We're getting on the rails. We're doing it.
いなくなっちゃったんだよな。
外科の知識もあって宇佐美先生の技術を勉強してた。
もう人を死なせないんだとか言って熱心な人だった。
ロビン
Oh
だ。
gosh, he's still traumatized too.
絶対ロビンだ。やっぱり。
Well, the Robin from the past, we had no hint of being a doctor, so it's very confusing too.
Right, they could just be completely mistaken.
宇佐美のガードするの？
ああ、成り行き上そんな形になってるな。
ロビンのことも聞きたいしね。
そりゃ聞くさ、聞くよ。
はいはい。まだかな、宇佐美。
Not exactly many places to bury someone amongst all
God
the
damn it, I missed
concrete.
it. Yeah, you're paying attention to the wrong shit, Griff.
No, I saw the token too.
He rolled it so much I could. It's the same logo that's on the gun,
It is.
but we don't know if the gun is connected to heaven.
Oh no, he has a gun. Just even the bird's anxious. Yeah, he did it.
No, now he did it, Griff. Stop trying to narrate a suicide.
Oh, but they're going to find the token, realize he knew, and they're going to be so upset.
Maru。
宇佐美ともロビンとも逆だな。俺の手は死しか生まねえな。
バカ！そんなこと言うなよ。そんなこと言うな。お前が人食いを殺せば人が食われなくなってみんなの命が助かるだろう。
Yeah, this is a lot for anybody to go through. And then you have Maru.
I'm glad nothing happened to her.
Yeah, I was expecting there to just be like a stuffed animal with a bit of blood in it, like on some rubble at the end of this.
That you live your life like a candle in the wind.
Oh, one last scene.
The girl that I was talking about.
ここ暗いな。なんだか嫌だな。怖いな。
Shizu.
来てくれたんだ。じゃあ怖くない。
It's gotta be Shizu.
That was definitely the afterlife there, right?
何一人でニヤニヤしてるの？
No.
なん
They
だ
hooked
かわ
up.
からないけど幸せな気分になる夢を見た。
Oh, there you go.
もうよく覚えてない。
Can't tell if she has the right eyebrows, though.
Wait, what does this mean? Hold on.
I think I'm vindicated. I mean, sadly, I'm vindicated, but I think I'm vindicated.
You're 100% correct. So, I'm excited. We have our first actual direct literal connection. Everything is there. They literally just say it outright.
I mean, you said 100%. No, it's not even close to 100%. It's if we were going on evidence alone, this is like circumstantial at best. I mean, this is just we have no other evidence of anything else, but I think I'm vindicated because I want to. I would hope that you would be more, logical about this than I am.
No. The only thing that makes logical sense in terms of a story is no. That is just totally true.
She
That
doesn't
was them,
have.
They grew up.
She
This
doesn't.
happened.
She doesn't have the same eyelashes.
I
point.
that's maybe fair.
I
but,
noticed that immediately. Look, the good thing or the best thing to do when being like scientific about anything is to always be objective and always try to prove yourself wrong. And I like to think that despite not being one, that I'm a good scientist, and that I'm always
we can at least update our theory if more comes up. But
well,
I mean,
I'm always trying to immediately think of the one thing or anything that someone will try to use against me in an argument. So I'm always trying to look to be wrong too, and then how to make myself right. So maybe I'm also pedantic. But my point being is that I think I'm right, but I also will indicate that they don't have the same eyebrows. Shizune was not said specifically at any point. Like, she never said, thank you, Shizu, rather. She never said anything to indicate that they are the same people.
They're doing the same thing with Robin,
the
too.
Badge,
they're using a last name.
Well, that's why I said nobody in heaven was given a last name either, so they could have just adopted a last name on the outside. But of course, none of that's also been confirmed. I've given evidence to say that heaven occurs in the past and this all happens in the future, but none of that's confirmed either. Everything is always circumstantial.
Then let me ask you about what we just saw. What did we just see? Was that them flashing back to like a time in the past where they first met? Is this them after they're dead in a metaphorical afterlife rejoining? Is heaven actually not real at all?
Well, we've actually already seen them first. Well, we didn't see them first meet. They've met before this. That literally can't be them first meeting. Because they're in heaven and they have no concept of anything outside the walls. So they couldn't have met outside of heaven and then wonder if there's something outside of heaven. The narrative there is that I had a dream. The easier read is they just hooked up because they've been talking about hooking up this whole time and everybody in heaven seems to be a little bit sex crazed. Now, the more metaphorical would be what you said, that's them dying, confirmation that these are the two people and they're like going to metaphorical heaven in their younger bodies. But that is a heavy metaphorical read that we have no evidence for at all.
Right. I mean, it's hard to interpret anything else other than you are dead when you're in the creepy dark cavern and the darkness is literally coming up to grab you.
Well,
What else do you do? And then the light of your life walks in to save you from it.
Well, literally, if they're gonna hook up and have sex, they need to do it somewhere where the cameras can't see them. So a cave makes sense, and we've seen no evidence that heaven doesn't have a cave somewhere.
Right. Boy, is there some extra weirdness going on there, though. But overall,
I'm just saying that there's
episode
like
was
5 different ways to read that one, and I think the metaphorical "they're dead" is the stretchiest way to read it. I mean,
yeah.
stretchiest is they're dead. A little bit further back is it was literally a dream. Further back from that is they had sex in a place nobody could see them. That's why she's blushing afterwards. And I don't know what the most real one is.
Right, right. But I think like just to talk about the episode overall, this was just like so melancholic and quiet. It was actually just like very nice to just step through just a very very specific amount of character drama. There was one thing happening this entire episode.
It was dealing with the ramifications of what it means to be able to kill a thing by touching it. Right?
And Maru realizing post fact that everything he's killed has been humans, and that he literally, with his own hands, killed somebody who was still human and is wrestling with that too.
I think if you were like to be watching all of this like back, like if you were in a marathon this show, this was supposed to hit you before you could have the realization that Maru himself has, that he's been killing actual people and not just monsters, which I guess
Yeah, we
is a
sort
thing
of
that
cottoned onto
happens.
that.
I think it's the thing that happens frequently in media where this sort of thing is like, like if you're in a zombie apocalypse and you're just like, fuck it, they're zombies, right? And then realize later on, there's a cure. It's like, oh shit, I've been
Like,
killing people.
Yeah. It's a very Shaun of the Dead right there. It's just like, oh yeah, no, after a bit we just kind of like threw zombies into like game shows because they weren't that harmful in the first place actually.
Well, I mean, no, there are like there's like zombie media where a cure is a thing that can happen. So if you're not like totally mangled up, you can be brought back, and that sort of thing where it's like, oh, we didn't know. We thought this was just regular zombie shit. So.
When the real zombies start showing up, everybody's just immediately gonna go to town. Then, yeah, no, that's what's gonna happen in reality. A week later, it's gonna be like, we have the cure for it. You didn't need to kill them.
Well, no, you go to town on people you don't know. Sexual euphemism. You go to town on people you don't know. But that's why you would always have the hesitation to kill the zombie of a loved one because, well, I mean, what if there is a cure? That's why you always encounter that one person in zombie shows. They're like, yeah, I tied my wife to the chair, and then I guess the first guy who died, I started feeding him to my wife. And I was like, what if there is a cure? I can't give up on the chance. I will kill all other zombies, but if there is a cure, I want to save my wife.
Yeah, Dr. Uzami here was definitely like a fun little plot to follow. I'm very glad that we kind of just got the entirety of it right there. I was worried there was going to be a little bit of like a no, we shouldn't kill them. They should stay on life support forever kind of deal. But it's like no, everyone's on the same page here. This is terrible, and we got to stop this.
I mean, he was literally the tie my wife to a chair person. I mean, for all we know, the monster in the basement was Shizu. And Dr. Usami was just somebody who met the girl after and then fell in love and did the whole thing. That Shizu and her ran off together, and then Shizu turned.
Yeah, I think I posited in the middle of it. It's like, who do you think the monster in the basement was? Was it maybe somebody from the crew?
Could literally be anybody.
There's
still people from heaven we don't know the names for. So.
Yeah, so a lot of things are happening. We do have at least 2 things that are set up now. One, which was set up in the episode, which is, oh hey, they all just moved into a building with a monster in the basement. Wonder what's going to happen next.
But we're leaving them though. We don't stick around with people after we're done with them.
Right. My curious idea is like, will they go back, or it's like, isn't that just going to be for our viewing pleasure to know that they're all going to die very
I'm
violently
happy
soon?
you've labeled your own idea as curious. My curious idea.
A very curious idea. Um, and then we have the other thing set up, which is the girl at the hotel is definitely infected, right? And they are very much aware of this information now.
Well, we don't know how aware she is of it.
Well, our two protagonists are aware of this. They have the information that this is what happens to people, that it starts to grow, they die, and then they hatch into a
No, she has
monster.
to die first. She's not going to just die because of the thing. She has to die of something else. Uh, the example given was that people would die of the disease and they would have the thing in them, and then they would turn into monsters.
Yeah.
It's like Walking Dead, right? It's like Walking Dead. Everyone's infected with the zombie thing. You still have to die to become a zombie,
Yeah.
and it just so happens the zombie bites are like really infectious and will kill you. So
Yeah. It validates like our thoughts back at the first hotel we arrived at, where the proprietor was like, "No, that's my son," and we were like, "Wonder how that happened."
well,
We
that's
we got
a
our answers for that finally. We
well,
have gone full circle.
no. That was a different thing. The monster killed her son, and she was like, and then he absorbed the consciousness of my son. That wasn't her son that died and became a monster.
Hmm.
Kind of like
Okay.
kind of like that one that killed. God, what was his name? Miraku?
Yeah.
Kirikou before when he was a boy. The one that ate half of his body. The same concept of if it had totally absorbed him, that he would be in there. Although that's again not confirmed because literally killed the mom. So that was
Yeah.
just a different thing.
So last time you did mention though that we haven't seen Heaven in a bit, and we did in this episode really, except like at the very
We
end.
just did.
Yeah, we just very briefly. And the last info we had from Heaven was somebody died in these exact circumstances where they had the thing growing, and now they have the thing, and it's gonna turn into a monster. The next time we come back to Heaven, it's gonna be a disaster zone.
Well, the conceit there is that the doctors haven't seen this before, so this
Exactly.
isn't new to them. Well, I mean, assumedly they're gonna lock it down in some sort of containment because
And then it's gonna break containment. It's gonna be a horror monster. It's gonna
they've also got
scavenge
like
from the facility.
robots floating around that place too, so it's like
It's got ventilation ducts. It's in the ducts.
well,
It's
no,
in the-
if you were to isolate it somewhere, like they're a place that's dealing with like a virulent disease, so assumedly they have a place to lock shit up that's not gonna. Oh god, what was the movie? Outbreak, right? Outbreak. It's like, oh shit, the hospital has air vents. Everyone in this
Yeah.
isolated area is getting everybody
Theta.
else sick.
You are role playing them right now. You are like, we've done everything we can. We put it into isolation. We have cameras monitoring it. We know exactly what's going on if anything changes. And then it's gonna hit them. They're gonna be surprised. It's gonna
I
break
doubt
out.
it. Literally,
Gonna.
they have an artificial intelligence in the place and a bunch of autonomous robots.
Mhm.
I'm pretty sure they have a place that I can isolate a thing that's not directly connected to the air vents.
Yeah.
I mean,
We just
also
gotta
they
get back
think
to
it's
Heaven. We need our
a.
Heaven scenes together.
They
That's
also
what we
think
need.
it's a bug and not an egg. So,
Mhm.
I mean, it could be that it is a bug. I mean, it
Yeah.
could be a bug monster and not an egg. So it could already have been an egg, formed out of the egg, and it's a bug monster instead of all the other kinds of monsters that we've gotten.
That does bring up like a point that the monsters do seem to have some kind of growth cycle. There are small ones and there are big ones, and we have an egg. How quickly does it take for them to
We
grow?
don't have an egg.
Yeah, that's what I'm calling the thing that remains after they burn the body.
No, that's why I was just indicating it. That's not an egg. That it could have, it could just be a bug monster, and it was never an egg.
My point still stands. How long does it take for them to grow? What does it take for them to grow? There's a life cycle.
That's
there.
my point, is that we don't know the life cycle because there is no egg, and the one that we've seen that like lays shit is the only one that we've seen that lays shit. The thing is that we need
I made the comment before that, like, we don't...
The thing is that we need repeatable results. We can't take one monster as to be the example of all monsters. We need a monster that does something that another monster has done, so that we can say, okay, this is a common factor among monsters. I'm gonna get you killed in the Apocalypse, Griff.
Oh, absolutely.
You're gonna be my test dummy. Hey, there's clean water down there.
Hey, at least then I don't have to...
Shit, that's just a bear.
At least then I don't have to deal with, like, the anti-prosthetic group outside constantly throwing rocks at us.
Yeah, and I get fresh meat.
There you go. Everybody wins, right? So, speaking of winning, I think that's where we're going to go ahead and end off for today, everybody. This has been Stoneface Reactions. I'm Griffin, that's Theta, and we'll catch you next time. See you around, everyone. Hey everybody, thanks for watching another Stoneface Reactions. If you have an idea of another video we could go ahead and watch, go ahead and put it in the comments down below and we'll add it to the wheel. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and let us know what you thought about this video, what parts you liked. And until then, we'll see you next time. Is this too goofy?